there's a part of you that is kind of obsessed with fate right now, obsessed with outcomes, clinging to outcomes. We have the Wheel of Fortune, Two of Cups reversed, and the Devil. And I think that you're aware of this. I think you are aware there's a part of you that clings to potential, obsesses over potential outcomes that parts of you really want and are like craving, and yeah, it's like seeking external, right? In order to feel something. It's like craving a feeling. It's like chasing a high of a feeling, right? So if that resonates, stick around. This is a IFS parts work reading. My name is Harmony. I am an intuitive healer. I do IFS, internal family systems, parts work, and I incorporate that in my readings. If you haven't heard of that, it's basically, if I just sum it up real quick, it's basically a theory about how all of us are made up of different parts. And all of these different parts are protecting wounds that we have, and they manifest in different ways. So we all have an inner critic that judges us, critiques us, maybe the people-pleasing parts, things like this, right? So this is a part that's kind of like obsessed with external validation, seeking that, right? So we're gonna get into this a little more, and it might have to do with, it's really feeling like a reoccurring, like I'm feeling like a loop, and that's what this Wheel of Fortune is. It's like, okay, we're gonna do this again. You've kind of experienced this cycle before of being presented with something and being obsessed with it, and you've broken it over and over again. And so the universe is kind of like, okay, are we gonna do this again? How are we gonna respond this time? As my cat just lays in my cards right here. So, excuse me, sir, I need these. Cats might be significant. He's a little tuxedo baby, 222. Yeah, so with the Two of Cups, yeah, it's really feeling like inner union versus outer union, seeking connection, right? Meeting someone and being like, oh my god, I want this to be a thing, whatever. Yeah, so let's get some more insight on this part. Let's connect to it. And I just want to validate right away that, like, I think there's another part of you that is judging this part, that obsesses, and you're like, you're so aware of it, and you're just like, can I just make it stop? Like, what can I do to make it stop? First thing you can do is give yourself grace and compassion. As hard as it is, before we can figure out what to do, how to stop doing a behavior, we have to come to a place of compassion, right? And that is part of IFS, is connecting with self. Self is adult self, fully healed, full of unconditional love for all of these parts, and shows up for them in that way. It's compassionate, curious, creative, all of these regulated states, right? So this, we can invite self in to be like, okay, listen, this is something we've worked on. We're gonna work through it, right? Let's just validate that this is normal. It's normal to, you know, let's say, for example, have a crush and obsess over them. Everyone does it, okay? And the fact that you're aware of it is great, because that means you can do something about it. So just giving love to this part, and maybe asking, like, why does this part obsess? Let's learn a little bit. But really sink into that compassion, right? Continue coming back around to that, because that's going to naturally soften the part, because it feels so judged by another part of you. So it's like this self-consciousness, right? So we asked, why is it obsessed? The Chariot comes out. It's like so fast-paced. It's like it's driven and searching, and it's going fast, right? It wants fast results, fast outcomes. And so it's like, I'm literally just seeing, like, instead of going inward, like, it's just seeking. It's a seeking part. Might have something to do with abandonment, right? But the call here is to, can we turn this chariot around towards self? What else can you learn, Spirit, about this part? Yeah, this is literally what I just said. Turning the chariot around to yourself? They're literally turned around. Six of Swords, this is moving to calmer waters, right? Things clearing up. Yeah. I'm also feeling a self-consciousness about this part, very, very heavily. Turning around and facing yourself, which is coming into this Empress state, okay? Which is not easy to do. You're not always going to live there, okay? These parts are going to get triggered, you know? But that doesn't mean that you're, like, regressing, okay? It's a practice. It's a practice. That's all it is. But this divine feminine energy of resting, receiving, like the opposite of seeking. So come up with a few things. What is like 3 different things you could do this week when this part becomes activated? Ask this part, what do you need from me in those moments? What is something you can do for yourself in those moments to kind of stop the loop? Let's ask that. What does this part need? Five of Swords reversed. Yeah, it's to stop the inner conflict. That's exactly what it is. So, working with this... Sorry if you can hear that banging outside. Working with the part that judges this part. Trying to understand this conflict. When that part wants to come in and maybe disrupts our ability to give compassion to the seeking part, you can ask that judgment part, hey, could you just like step aside for a second? I'm going to come to you. We can have a conversation as well, but I need to give attention to this part. If it can't step back, okay, let me give some attention to this judgment part, right? Hold on. So maybe that judgment part does need some attention. It's trying to protect you from repeating cycles. It's trying to protect you from doing the wrong thing. It's like I'm seeing like this judgment part has a chart of like, okay, what are the things that you should be doing and what are the things you should not be doing? And this seeking the external is on that list of should not. And so this part's trying to manage. This is a huge manager in your system that tries to organize and make things ultimately trying to protect you from more harm at the end of the day. And so when we view it that way, now we can give compassion to that part too. Because that makes sense, right? And the seeking part is seeking because it wants love. It wants other people to be there for you, okay? And you're there for yourself, but it's just, okay, let's return to that. You know how to do that. You know how to show up for yourself. To, like, fill that. Six of Cups reversed. This is old memories. Yeah. All of these parts that we have, they're protecting exiles, which are, that's the wound, right? For example, let's say my dad left when I was 9 years old. That is a significant trauma, and there are parts called exiles that are trapped there, and my protective parts try to protect that wound in any way so that we never feel that again. So with the Six of Cups, this is memories, it's reversed, this is past, being stuck in the past. So trying to understand what really are we protecting? We're getting some answers here, but this is a collective reading, so we're not going to get specific memories for people. But it's like, what really asking these parts, sitting in meditation, asking like, what happened? You know, like, what am I trying to, what wound am I trying to protect? What happened in my past that made me seek the external? When did this start? It's probably a childhood thing or a teenage memory. But it comes back around to this wound of like not thinking that you can show up for yourself. You know, what does that bring up for you? Anyways, this is pretty deep stuff, right? So, yeah, if anyone wants to dive into this deeper, I do soul guidance sessions where we can get into this parts work. I can also do more readings in this style. I also do Reiki, and I do Reiki on these different parts of us to help them soften. So, let me know if you want a session. Check out the link in my bio. But sending so much love to your parts. They deserve it. They don't receive enough love. All of us. 1111. Yeah, again, my name is Harmony, and I love you. Here to bring harmony to the system.